Class, this is chapter 1 of the book. It's the first chapter in which we're looking at the foundations of business. Now, the purpose of this chapter is, and the two that follow, is to define the business environment. Now, why do we want to have to do that? Reason is the following. Businesses are a lot, as I would put it, like plants. I mean the green things. A plant is a very unique organism when you think about it. As humans, if we want to eat something, we can walk to the refrigerator or go to the store. But if you're a plant, you're pretty well locked down to wherever it is, the seed fell and you put down roots. You have to rely on the nutrients from the soil, the air, and the sun that may come through to you. If you don't have those, then, well, you're not going to last that long. Businesses are the same. Once you establish where your factory is or your office is, you're going to have to be relying on the suppliers, etc. in that area. Also, in an economic sense, you'll be looking for buyers in that area. Now, if your business grows, eventually you may be able to move your business or plant to some place that's more advantageous. Or you may be able to expand through globalization to other people. But as you start out, the first process, the first steps, will be taken in that area where you put down roots, hence the expression. And so, just like a plant, it's very important that you understand the environment in which you're working. So, what is the environment? We define it in management as looking for competitive advantage. Now, the first part of it is innovation. Just as I'm here on a video to you, we all look for the newest product, the iPhone 7, the newest car. Nobody is buying the same product that was built in 1940 today. Planes have changed, cars have changed, everything's changed. That's the pace of what we call progress. Very few companies survive building the same thing year after year without some amount of change. The next thing is that of quality. We all want quality goods. Now we'll get to price in a second, but everybody wants a product that's going to last or do what it is that you were told it would do. It's very important that that product be of sufficient quality that you feel that when you paid the money, you got what you wanted. Which brings us to the next one, service. You go to a store and you buy something. You want the people to be kind to you. Or, for example, you went to your accountant. You'd like them to be able to count. All these things are necessary. Service is important. If the service isn't there, then more likely than not, you're not going to be going back for a repeat customer. The next thing is cost competitiveness. Two parts to this equation. One is, first, you have to be able to build a product at a price that you can actually make money at. How do we make money at it? You have to know that your customers will pay a certain amount for it. So it's a balancing, a tension, so to speak, in cost competitiveness. To be able to build it at the price that is best and to sell it at the price that you know it will be purchased at. And that's when you read about articles such as companies like Walmart or Apple, you'll notice they're always trying to push down the price of the product being produced so they can offer it at a better price to the consumer, because they're very sensitive to what their consumers' price points would be. Finally, we have the issue of sustainability. Now, this is something that's come out new in just the last 10 years or so. It's the concept that a company shouldn't be destroying the environment that it's in. It should be aware of the environment. And in this sense, I mean literally the green environment. Carbon footprints and ability to make waste or recycle waste are now very important. Not only is it important from a marketing perspective, people buy from companies that are sustainable, but also it can be cost effective. It can lead a company to reduce the amount of waste it's creating or devices that don't function. So how does management, or what does management do in order to facilitate that competitive advantage? Well, it has, as we've noted before, 4 objectives. The first thing it does is it plans. And by this I mean it's creating strategic value. Now remember, strategic value at all times is something that's long range. Something that the company wants to do as an overarching theme. Okay? It may be that the company wants to have 99% sustainability, or it wants to make the best product possible at the lowest price possible. That's what we mean by planning. Strategic long-term value. Organizing. A company has a variety of resources. Think about it. There's materials, there's people, there's facilities, etc. those have to be organized in what amounts to a very careful symphony of business. Materials have to come in at the right point in time, be acted on using the facilities that are available, and the people have to know what they're doing. The responsibility of management is to make all that happen. Next, it has to lead. A company without leadership is like a ship without a rudder, doesn't know where it's going. You have to mobilize the people to move in a given direction. In other words, move toward the direction of progress. That can be very difficult, and there's a lot of studies that are done by a variety of people as to the best way to lead and the most efficient ways to lead. Finally, a manager has to control. Now, I don't mean in this case the leader controls and makes sure you go in certain directions. No. You notice here it's monitoring and improving. Management is dynamic, it is not static. Controlling is where we add that dynamic aspect to the process. As a good manager, you constantly are monitoring how things are planned, how they're organizing, how people are leading. And you're modifying them, tweaking it, making it better at each possible turn. You're improving the functionality. So this is a dynamic process. It is not a process that is static. As you read through the chapter, you'll be noting that they'll talk about different managers and what their responsibilities are. Think about your own roles in your own businesses. You're constantly doing these 4 things, probably unwittingly. Now, however, as you do each one, you'll be thinking about it. Am I planning? Am I organizing? Am I leading, or am I controlling? See you soon for the next chapter, chapters number 2 and 3.